Hello everyone and welcome to 15 KPIs every dental practice must know if they want to grow. So this is the third, let me just get rid of that. This is the third video in the series, and today we're going to talk about patient retention. You've heard me in the previous videos use the statement that what gets measured gets done. And so if you think about the statistic that the average practice loses about 10% of its patient base each year, that's an important number that you're going to want to follow. You can't grow if you're bringing in 10 new patients a month, but you're losing 10 out the back door. So if the average practice loses about 10% of its patient base every year, I would strongly encourage you to set your retention at half of that. So at 5% patient loss per year. And so patients that you are losing should only be those that have died or moved. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the patients that move because I think you'll find that interesting. And so if you're losing any other patients, you need to figure out why they're leaving and then fix it. So why do patients leave your practice? As a basic recommendation for establishing a baseline for this KPI, look at all the patients that have not been in for 18 months. Why have they not been in? And look at trends in your data. Now, I am going to strongly suggest that you get a list of those patients and you have a third party do a telephone interview with them, so that that third party can say, I've been asked by Dr. Brown's office to contact patients that haven't been in 18 months, because we're always looking to improve the quality of our patient care. Do you have a few minutes for me to ask a few questions? Now, I have a very basic survey, so if you'd like a copy of it, just send me a Facebook message, and I will definitely get that to you. Okay, so why do patients leave your practice? Well, they died, they moved, or other. Look at your trends and involve your staff in this process. I want to talk about patients who move. So why do patients go looking for a new dentist? And when they're looking for a new dentist, what are they looking at and what are they looking for? One of the reasons you hear when a new patient comes to your practice is that they're new to the area. And that makes sense. People move and they need to find a new dentist. But investigate a little deeper and you'll find their motivations are not necessarily quite as clear-cut. Interesting statistics. 41% of the population moves every 5 years. Again, this is according to Canadian census data. That's a lot of mobility, but here's what I find interesting. 50% of those that moved stayed within the same municipality. So a lot of patients out there who are going to a new dentist because they say they moved are really saying they were not happy with their previous dentist. But moving gave them an excuse to change, made it easier to leave without having to voice their dissatisfaction, which means there's a huge opportunity that you might be missing. If you're going to do direct mail, then you may want to get a list of new movers and market directly to them. But if your patients are leaving because they moved, make sure that that truly is the reason and not just an excuse. So review your retention numbers, get clear about why you lose patients, and then interview those patients that left and get information so that you can increase retention. I recently did this kind of survey process for a dental practice that was a client. And we discovered that his retention was really, really high, and he was only losing 2 to 3% of his patients each year. The problem was they just hadn't been in. So we needed to get more diligent about follow-up and booking them those appointments. So why is patient retention important? It's because of the lifetime value of a dental patient. And this is my very simple way to help you and, of course, your staff understand the value of every single patient. So 5-year income per dental patient, income from exams, bite wings, and 1 pro fee for a year, about $300 or $1,500 for 5 years. Each patient, on average, would have a major service or procedure every 5 years, equaling about $1,000. Now, as you know, many patients do not have that, and some have treatments that are more than $1,000. But the total income for patients every 5 years is that $1,500 from routine care, plus $1,000 for a major procedure or service. So that's $2,500. You take that number and you multiply it times 3, so 5 years times 3 to get to 15, that patient brings in about $7,500 in revenue. Now, ideally, you should be getting referrals from your patients. So 1 referral every 5 years from that patient. So 3 referrals over their lifetime. And if each new patient brings the same $7,500 that we talked about above, the lifetime value of a dental patient is the $7,500 from the original patient, 3 times $7,500 for 3 referrals. Add those two numbers together, and the lifetime value of a dental patient is approximately $30,000. And that's a big number. So you want to make sure you do everything possible to retain patients for their lifetime. That's really all I wanted to cover today, but if you want more information on dental practice growth, then go to www.practicecheckup.com/blueprint, and you'll see there an offer to get my dental practice growth blueprint. It has a lot of detail in it about all of the moving parts to growing a dental practice. As always, I'm dedicated to your success. I would love to hear from you, both about whether the blueprint was helpful and also about these videos. Are you finding them insightful? Kathy at harrisgroup.ca, 705-745-7477. As always, I'm dedicated to your success, and have a great day.